Hi, everybody. I'm the Padre, and that's the Pritch. It's called the Pritch of the Padre, but you can call it anything you want.
You want, yeah.
Just call us for dinner, right?
Yep. Pulled pork today. Okay.
You don't forget an invitation to lunch.
I never. No. Somebody says pulled pork, I'm on.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do, we're happy that Desire to Inspire Studios brought us in here, so we're trying to make life a little better for everybody and anybody who's trying. And for those of you who are not trying, we're trying to make things a little better so that you can come out of your doldrums. You know Joe in a wheelchair from the St. Vincent's.
Oh, yeah, Joe.
He comes in with his dog for Mass.
Lazur, yeah. Great kid.
He's
great guy.
Paralyzed from the waist down.
Right.
So he's a really nice man. And
yes.
I was reading in the New York Times, of all places, that last week when we were there together in church, that Sunday was National Joe Day.
Wow.
Just as you have Father's Day, Mother's Day, St. Patty's Day, Valentine's Day, Secretary's Day, it's National Joe Day.
Joe Day. Wow.
And you know, the significance of it is, if you meet somebody, you say, "Hey, how you doing, Joe?"
Joe,
you
it's
don't
Joe
have to
Day.
say,
Yeah.
"What's your name?" No, it's Joe. Yeah,
Joe.
hi, Joe.
Hey, Joe. Well, could it be from St. Joseph? No.
No,
No,
nothing like that.
nothing like that.
And could it be coffee?
Yeah.
Joe, want a cup of Joe?
Cup of Joe, yeah.
Yeah. But no, it was National Joe Day, and the nice thing about it was everybody gave him a round of applause.
Ah, it's the best.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you for doing that. Aaron.
Yeah. Well,
That's awesome.
I'm going to start out here with a little Mother T story. I can call her Mother
Yes,
T.
of course you can.
Now that she's up there in the
ether.
In the ether, yeah. Mother T was asked one time by a guy who was interviewing her. He said, "You know, you've moved me so much. What can I do to help you, Mother?" And her answer to him was, "Find somebody no one else loves, and love them."
Wow.
And if that were our goal for all of us, finding somebody that nobody loves and reach out to love them. Now, what's your favorite line that you always say to me when I'm going away?
You know what I love about you? Everything. You know what you need to change about you? Nothing. Oh, you know who I saw today I love? You.
There you go. Now, once you've heard that a dozen times.
Yeah, but kids never get tired of that. They love that.
Yeah, you begin to say, "Oh, okay." But Pritch is a great practitioner of this reaching out to people that no one loves. And you've had the experiences in your life, which is all part of our banter and our sharing back and forth to try and recognize
Ministry of mirth.
and give people an opportunity to know that there's lots of people out there who really care about other people, but they don't have the avenue, they don't have the personality. Like this guy is not afraid of anybody or anything, and sometimes he'll embarrass the daylights out of you. But it's all part of, you use the word mirth, it's all part of loving yourself and knowing where where you lack and trying to help other people. Because you've been both places.
Oh, you bet. You question sometimes when you're growing up, when you're a kid and you're learning different. And I was a learning different kid. I had ADHD, and so I was conflicted. I was, stigmatized as a poor student, and you never know where you're headed with that because the three brothers were all very good at academics and sports, and I was that chubby little kid who was trying to figure things out and went into the seminary seeking a spiritual life to help explain things internally to myself. And in the seminary, you remember how hard that seminary was. That was, you talk about a hard choice, because that
Just
was
short of the Marine Corps.
exactly correct. Yeah.
Without all
exactly.
the physical
With all,
demands.
yeah, exactly right. And rigorous studies. And we had to take Latin. We had literature. We had algebra, geometry. And I was like, oh boy, and you're in for the roller coaster ride if you're a learning diverse person. What they call now at Stanford, it's called neurodiversity. And we didn't have a term for it back then. The kid can't sit still. He's moving around, all
Fidgety.
in motion, fidgety.
Yeah.
But what you learn is, if you get later on in life, and this is interesting, I watched Mother Teresa speak at the cathedral, and she said, "A lot of you are here tonight to listen to me talk about my children starving to death in Ethiopia or maybe India, or Somalia, but they are dying loved in their mother's arms. And some of your children are sitting at home tonight, surrounded by objects you've purchased for them, and they are dying of malnutrition of the spirit." And I think what you learn is, if you have spirit, the studio we work in is called Desire to Inspire, which comes from the term inspire, to breathe in the spirit. I think that you learn that if you have spirit, and you are indomitable in that spirit, you believe that you're here for a purpose, which is why I think I was awakened to that in the seminary. I was like, okay.
Well, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Wait a minute. Hold the phone. You just said you had to study Latin.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
boy.
Latin comes from inspire, the word inspire. Spiro, spirare, spiravi, spiratus.
He knows all the declensions.
No, that's a verb.
Oh.
Declensions are nouns.
Oh.
Yeah. So spirare means, that would be the infinitive. That means
Okay.
to breathe. And inspirare means to breathe into. So when you say, like, the Gospels, the Scriptures are inspired by God, you are saying that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and all these other guys who wrote the Scriptures, God breathed into them.
Wow.
And the word, the Hebrew word in the Scripture is ruah, R-U-A-H, and what it simply means is a breath.
Wow.
Or a sigh, like that. So these are all human explanations for things that that you didn't get in First Latin. You didn't get in First Latin in the seminary because you didn't pay attention.
Okay, sorry. But I learned how to say Maria habuit parvum angium.
Mary had a little lamb.
He is a genius. So I have to say that I found purpose, and the purpose of life is a life of purpose, right?
Yeah.
And you figure the purpose is that you find people, like Mother Teresa said, find somebody unloved and love them. And folks, it's not going to be hard to do. There are countless thousands of people lonely and isolated after COVID, lonely and isolated after the war in Ukraine, and people just needing the nurture of human solace and help and assistance. You might find them in your parish, in your neighborhood. You might find them next door to you. And just when they're isolated and lonely like that, do what you can to reach out. I've been an Irish Catholic social worker all my life, and that's like 50 years. And I'm thinking, at 72, I'm like going, wow, I loved helping people, but it taught me more than I ever taught other folks. And it was, because the best sermon's a good example, right?
Yeah, that's it. So the in interviews that I've done over the years, oftentimes people would say, well, why did you become a priest? I said, well, you don't have to go to work.
Yeah.
It's always there.
It's there, right there.
So, and if you're looking, I was a do-gooder as a young boy, and I thought that was a good way to help become a better person by doing things for other people. So, being a priest, you didn't have to go out and look for it.
Right.
People would come to you with situations and problems. Just as I was saying last week, the guy in the hospital, his kids call me.
Right.
He would not call me. First of all, he's very sick, but this is a love that comes. Now, even his children, I don't know whether they go to church or not, but they reached out because they know their dad has a strong
faith,
spiritual connection and a faith, and they wanted to do some good. So a lot of times in your life, when you do something wrong or it's not working out for you, it's like a stop sign, that octagonal sign. If you drive up and you see the stop sign and you stop,
right,
and you go and you stop, and you get out of your car, you walk around the car, the sign isn't going to change.
Right.
It'll still say stop. But what you need to do is it's what happens in life. You take inventory of yourself. Why did I stop? Because I didn't want to get hit on either side. You look both ways. You go through the stop sign and you go on with your life. Right. So a lot of times with that stop sign, after looking both ways, and you have something that's wrong. I don't know who, it might have been you again, Mike, said this, but I remember it. Name it, claim it, and tame it.
Tame it.
So if there's something, there's no right way to do a wrong thing.
Right.
No right way to do a wrong. Well, if it's wrong, you name it. This is wrong. I shouldn't have done this to my brother, my sister, or whoever. Name it, and then tame it. Claim it. Say, okay, it's me.
You got to own it, right?
Yeah.
Accountability.
Yeah, it's not like we talked last week about the two guys, or who's going to blame who for what, for a slap in the face.
Right.
Who's going to blame who, and then finally, tame it. Just the same way that there's a little wildness in little puppies and in pets that you have around the house, or in spirited horses that you have to have you can never control an 1,800-pound horse.
Right.
That horse can take advantage of you in a second.
You bet.
But if you tame it, then you can get on its back. You can go wherever you want to go. You can put a saddle on it.
And it will become part of, at the Hallett Creek Ranch, we take autistic children out there, and there's sometimes a horse that's well-loved becomes a well-loving horse, and children who are autistic are on a frequency with that horse, and they get on there at Hallett Creek Ranch. And look us up, folks. We're right here in Marin County. And they get the opportunity, even tiny little kids who are neurodiverse get an opportunity to ride. It shifts their life because the animal, there's no other way to say it. They feel it. Like, personal question to you, Harry, is when you went in to see the dad of all those kids, Mr. Casey, and when you walked in and you're in your priestly garb, didn't you think when he saw you, even though he knew it meant that he was probably passing, didn't he have a look of relief in his eyes to see you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What did that do for you?
Well, it made my 20-minute driving through the garage at UCSF, trying to find a parking place. Wait, no, I'm going to tell you, this is what I go through. If somebody calls and says, go to the hospital and see so-and-so. Okay, what hospital is Parnassus? Okay, so people around, they don't know what Parnassus, but it's a huge hospital.
Right. Yeah.
University is
I know.
California, San Francisco.
UCSF, yeah.
And you go in the garage. I went through 9 floors. 9 floors before I finally found a place. Took me 20 minutes because you get behind somebody, they're waiting to get in. So this is a patience trier. Now, after finally finding a place, I go up a set of elevators. And you get off, you go up another. Then you go into the hospital, and there are 4 people behind cages there. Have you been here before? Yeah. I'm a Catholic priest. I've got this collar from Hertz Rent-A-Collar. So who are you here to see? Dan Casey. Well, he's had 2 visitors today. You can only have 2 visitors a day. So I said, well, the family called me to come and see. So now this is another 15 minutes.
You have to wait.
After to the
approval.
He has to call the nurse on the floor, and she has to approve my
resentment building.
Yeah, then resentment building, and all I want is a little badge that lets me on the elevator.
Got it.
So now I finally get now we're probably 45 minutes into a hospital visit, and I know that I only got an hour in the garage. It's $5 after that. No, I'm kidding.
Go ahead.
I'm kidding about that.
I know, but I
So now I get up to the elevators. There are 4 sets of elevators. There's a priest there. He's an African. He's Nigerian. I know him.
Yeah.
So he finally says, "Where are you going?" And I said, 15 something. So he says, "I'll take you up there." So that's when I walk in the room. But the struggle, about basically 45 minutes to get to this man's room and have that experience. So if there was any grace to be had, it was in the preliminary.
Right. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. And if you don't do it, you feel guilty that you... I could have said, I can't find a parking place.
Right.
I'm going to go home and call the kids and say...
Couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it,
right.
Yeah. Or at the gate, what do you mean? You can't, 2 visitors. I could have turned around and gone back down the garage and drove away.
Right.
And then only paid $5.
Second collection, folks. Second collection. Anyway, go ahead.
Find somebody nobody loves. And
here's the thing. This is the point I try to make out. You have just heard the story of a Catholic priest and his daily struggles to do his ministry. And some of us assume things many times not in evidence, not true, about Catholic priests and things that have been said about their coldness or indifference. Just remember, there are priests like this out there every day in struggle in their own lives. And at 83 years old, they still serve God and Christ and the power of the Holy Spirit. And isn't that something, folks? Isn't that just something? And I'm not kissing up to him. I love him too much to do that because he's going to yell at me when we get out the front door today.
Yeah, really. And I'm also probably going to preach at your funeral.
Be nice, you might say.
I want to say something meaningful. Put your hat back on.
Yes, sorry. The old gray hair. Yeah.
The old gray mare.
Yeah, well, either one. But that said, the thing that gets me is, like, Monsignor saying, sometimes you just got to continue. And that was Dr. King's line that I love. If you can fly, fly. If you can run, run. If you can walk, walk. But if you have to crawl, crawl. Keep moving forward. Keep serving humbly, quietly. Don't look for recognition or approval. just do what you can to make things better in the world, and that's pretty much it. And when you think of the like we were talking, you know, I love comedians, and I've helped so many young comedians and older comedians. And one of my favorite comedians was my friend Robin Williams. And watching him through the beneficence of his loving heart and his Solomonic wisdom, played all these roles for people to talk about mental health and well-being and kindness and love and compassion and endurance and the spiritual enterprise of not quitting, but standing up to anger, hostility, and violence, and as well becoming part of the medicine for the world. And, you know, that's why when we have an incident where comedians hurt each other with words or a slap and violence, it's important for us to take pause and think, what are they dealing with in their own personal lives, and not be too quick to judge, and realize that what can we do to make this situation better. The little kid taught me, blame is me, he's dyslexic, me at the end of blah, blah, blah. And shame is me at the end of shh, shh, shh. Both those things apply to that moment. And so when a person is shamed and when a person is blamed even afterwards, it's important for us to take pause, be gentle to ourselves and others, right?
The Italians have a good word. They have a lot of good words. Coraggio. Have you heard that? Well, you know what it means, right? From your Latin studies.
Heart.
Yeah.
Courage.
Oh, yeah, courage. It means to act with the heart.
Right.
So
encourage, not discourage.
Yeah.
Give strength to.
Not take away from it.
Right, not take away.
Discourage.
I used to laugh so hard because when I was in Italy, and I was like a tour guide in Italy, when they didn't.
What?
Oh yeah, it was years ago. A
tour guide?
I was a tour guide in Italy. Yeah.
You must have been starving.
Oh, I hardly ever ate. Anyway, but when they had a singer that they didn't like in the outdoor opera thing, and they didn't like him, I started crying. I was laughing so hard because if they didn't like him, they would go like this. It was just picture, 300 Danny DeVitos going like this. If instead of applauding, they would take their thumbnails and go like this.
Really?
And you would hear the clicking.
No.
Yes. And they didn't like him. They go,
thumbnails? I never heard
and
that story.
Clicking, yeah.
I guess I was a tour guide too, but I never.
Yeah, you were at the Vatican. You were at the big. Yeah, come
I
on.
never heard that.
Yeah, no. If you look it up, you'll die laughing. You can watch them. They want to. Like some. You go.
Hey, here's a true story. For dessert, when I was a student in Rome, they used to serve peanuts.
Right.
But they were in the shell.
Right.
So after our big meal was at 1:00.
Right.
So we'd have a pasta and some entree, and then for dessert would be peanuts. So after the meal, we'd all line up and go into the chapel to say a little prayer after the meal.
Right.
So if you've ever eaten peanuts for 4 or 5 minutes, and you get 300 guys in a closed chapel, what are they doing?
Getting the peanuts.
Getting the peanuts out of their teeth. I mean, it was hilarious. And it wasn't planned. Nobody said, okay, everybody clean your teeth.
You can hear it.
Yeah, you can hear it. So, I mean, this is true. I can't believe you hear the thumbnail.
Google it. See, that's the thing. The best thing is I don't have to lie because you can be Google. It's all because it's the term I love from the kids. They go, "Hey, I'm telling you, it's Googleable." So we should have T-shirts that say, "Don't believe me, it's Googleable. It's Googleable." Sergey, thank you, my brother. That's the guy that owns Google.
Oh,
He started Sergey Brin.
yeah?
Yeah. Good kid.
Is he on your donor list?
I never asked him. I have to tell you, this just happened. This is really interesting. I think I sent you the thing. There's a San Jose Mercury News article called Class Traders about all the kids in the Bay Area whose parents are giving them tons of money, $32 trillion in wealth leverage change, and they don't want it. They're embarrassed by it, not ashamed, but embarrassed by the amount of wealth that's coming their way, and they're the millennials, and they don't want it. They want to donate it. And, I was saying that at our meeting the other day because it's called Class Traders on San Jose Mercury News. And when I read it, I went, wow. And it's not that you're embarrassed. It's just like maybe the huge big palaces and temple of me that mom and dad built to tell you who they are and what they own, what they have, is just so abundantly over the top, too much for them, that their friends who are poor or immigrant kids or kids who are suffering. I remember when I was...
Wait a minute, let me stop you a second.
Yeah.
They could have helped me pay that $5 for the parking.
That's what I'm saying. Second collection. I try to tell you this. The second collection moment. It's like, hey, if any of you are millennials and you read this article, there's a copy of it in your pew.
Yeah.
Please donate to Padre and Pritch and Padre. And Desire to Inspire Studios, where we're teaching children to use technology to bring medicine to a wiser world. Brain wise, heart smart.
The mother who had so much problem with her teenage daughter, and she said, well, what am I going to do? I got to give her something to make up for this. So she gave her a rock that supposedly was 2 million years old.
Wow.
And the daughter looked at the rock, and the mother said, what is this? Or, the daughter, what is this, a rock? Said, it's 2 million years old, honey. That's how long it will take before I ever give up on you.
Oh, great line.
Yeah, before I ever give up on you.
Before I ever give up. See, Solomonic wisdom. Sky College in North America.
Yeah, right.
Rome.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, we'll see you again next week, probably. God give us life and the ability to use it. Amen, brother.
Brothers and sisters, think about how good life can be if we choose to be kind, loving, compassionate, caring, and not indifferent to the coldness of the world. Do what you can to make things better for yourself and others and your family. Amen.
Amen.